Do 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 do. All right. Welcome to the Peter Wayne Burton Music Hour. Forgive the fan noise in the background. Summertime has kicked in here in Vermont, and it takes me a little bit to adjust to having an air conditioner on. We spend all winter trying to stay warm inside, and we spend all summer trying to keep the warm air outside and the cool air blowing in. It's an interesting change in lifestyle and temperament. So I am not very fashionable tonight. I try to be more fashionable if I can. I'm trying this lighting setup. So I figured I would just sit down and play some music for a little while, clear my head a little bit. And, I hope you're having a good night. Hello out there. I hope you're having a good night. I'm just gonna sit here and play in my kitchen, not even knowing if anyone's ever gonna see it. But I just have to say that there are sacrifices that my brain makes. Like, I know when I'm playing music and all I'm thinking about music, it makes me a pretty selfish person. And it's okay to admit it. But it's sort of being selfish with a purpose, Because I need to practice music completely alone a lot of the time. Last night I had a interesting experience. There were 4 competitors. Hello, I hope you're having a good night. Thank you for tuning in. I was just telling that story that last night I had a battle of the bands. Nice, great is a wonderful word. Good to hear. So I went on first, and I was the only solo act. Performer 2, 3, and 4 were all bands. And I didn't realize that after my performance, I was going to get a real-time critique from the 4 judges. And I had no idea what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, she was like, "That was pretty good, Peter, but I would say stay away from the guitar and stick to the piano." And I was like, what is this public criticism? And I just kept packing my stuff up. And then I realized they were talking to me. So I stopped and I listened to one of the judges, who I actually think is awesome. And he was super nice. And it was a great experience. I lost. I came in at least 3rd place, if not 4th place. And that's okay. I had a great experience. And all it teaches me is that, a lot of the times I do my best work if I am physically alone without eyes on me. It seems like my super judgmental side comes out when I'm performing in front of people, because I take the perspectives of any one person and I wonder if they think I suck or if they feel kind of bad for me. I invent all these different opinions, a wave of opinions. Like, some hate it, never want to hear it again. Some love it, they can't get enough. Good morning, Indonesia. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Greetings from the USA, Vermont specifically, Burlington very specifically. I just sit here in my kitchen. I'm a man with 2 kids. I got an album that's done. I play weekly gigs at local places. I just played a battle of the bands. I am excited for all the stuff that's going on. Yet I have no business acumen, and I'm not good at social media. I see social media people being so good with their editing and their videos that are just amazing. And I'm like, I want a video like that. And I have a couple videos on my channel. Subscribe, check them out. Become a part of the PWB Nation. Quib Nation. PWB Nation. I had a neighbor a few years ago who loved calling me Quib. PWB, Quib. And there was an I in there. It doesn't make any sense. But that's kind of stuck with me. So now, you're going to hang with me, the PWB? Hey-oh. I'm such a cheese bag. A lot of the time, I know. But alright, I'm in tune. You scream out loud that you've never been so alone. It's been a long time, but it feels like a second ago. Does it disappear or fade away over time? I know your day will come further down the line. The world remains the same, but you're changing every day. The world remains the same, but you're on your own. Yes, you're on your own. And I know you're scared to run out of time. I know your day will come further down the line. Does it disappear or fade away over time? I know your day will come further down the line. The world remains the same, but you're changing every day. The world remains the same, but you're on your own. Hello out there. Thank you for tuning in to the Wayne Burton Music Hour. It's where I exorcise my demons from the day. They build up fast, man. But you gotta let go of those demons, man. You gotta exercise those demons in your mind to the point that they're exhausted and they need to take a nap. You know what I mean? And who says those demons in your mind can't take a nap? You know, it could be for a minute. It could be for an hour. It could be for a day. I am sorry to report, Freda, that I did not make it through the first round of the Battle of the Bands. That's okay. There were 4 performers. I went first. And I played 4 songs, and the third song I did on guitar. And it was sort of a panicked setup. Get your guitar plugged in, get tuned. So I felt kind of rushed getting to the guitar song. But I played 4 songs total, and I got off the stage, and then the judges gave me a real-time critique of my performance, which was very strange. I didn't realize it was happening, so I was just moving my stuff while she was ripping my guitar playing apart. It was crazy. So then after me, there were 3 bands, each at least a 4-piece, if not a 5-piece band. 3 of them. 2 bands won the first, the 2 slots to go to the final. And then next week there are 4 bands, some solo people, and 2 of them will go to the finals. So it'll be 4 people in the finals. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Take care of yourself. I will see you soon. I'll be around. Sorry I don't stream as much. Things are a little bit nuts at the moment. I assure you, I think about streaming all the time. I tried to stream from the restaurant last week, and it didn't go well. I just thought I would set up this pad, hit record like I do now, and it would work. But, you know, I got on the Wi-Fi. I thought I was a technical genius. Clearly, I am not. But someday I'm going to build the studio of my dreams, and I'm going to live stream from it in ultra high quality and multiple cameras. And it will be like I'll hibernate at home doing a lot of live streams, and then I'll go out on tour. And then I'll come home, take a break from music, do some live streaming, go out on tour, and have that rhythm. And the tours wouldn't be super extensive. I don't want to burn myself out traveling 5,000, places a year. So I'm a little bummed that I didn't make it through to the next round, but I would say I feel great. I met some great people, heard some great music, and it was a wonderful experience. So, my best of luck to the bands. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about putting myself out there. And I think playing as much as I do, I couldn't decide if I was ready to play, if I was nervous, or if I just already felt defeated that like this one dude in this crappy sounding piano is going to have any way of beating bands, that had like 3-4 part harmonies. One had a cello. They sounded beautiful. I loved it. So it just means that I didn't get to put my best foot forward. You know what I mean? So musically, it was a good experience because I really wasn't nervous when I got on stage. I really didn't beat myself up about the performance. I felt like I did okay. I felt like the piano sounded like crap, but I didn't want to stop mid-performance and try to fiddle with the sound quality. So you give me a real piano, a real audience of people that are just enjoying listening to music, and I could do that all the time. So if I had a real piano, I think I probably would have had a better chance. That is not to say that everything I do could use work, If I remember anything from last night, it is the critique that I should not have picked up the guitar. That's what she said. And it's like, wow, that's rough. How dare you? Yeah, I think I'm learning how to grow. By embracing how uncomfortable it is to repeat what you know is a good thing to do. If that makes any sense. I think for me, it's hard to define the difference between obsession and desire. And I think for me, it blocks out everything else in my life. Because I agree. And I want her to remember it when I make her look fucking stupid. I mean, I can use anger to my advantage, right? We're allowed to do that. Next time, I will put this guitar part on a loop. And I will play piano over it, and I will see what she has to say about that. Go ahead and critique. And I can already hear somebody critiquing, well, the piano and the guitar, they didn't really mesh together very well. I felt like I just wanted to hear the one instrument. And everybody in the room would probably shake their head and be like, why would you say that to a performer right after he finished his 4 songs? And I'd say, okay, well, fine. And then I'd loop the piano over the guitar. And then I'd get on the drums. Ego mentality. You can take a hike. I don't give a shit about what you think of what I just did. Either you liked it or you didn't. And I know music is very subjective. I know I should get used to it, but it's hard when you're sensitive. I'm trying not to be so sensitive. And I like people knowing I have a long way to grow. I think of it as a wonderful experience because a few times a month I get signals trying to interrupt my pursuit of my dream. You know, like the darkness is trying to trip me up and make me forget what I'm truly focusing my energy on. And I realize that darkness is entirely made up by me. It's not like it's out of my control. How is that even possible? We have so much more control over our minds than we even know. Hey, I'm not opposed to the concept of alien signals. I think insecurities, maybe they start to lose their power if you're as honest as you feel comfortable being about them. So if I make fun of my insecurities, ideally the insecurities sort of deflate in how much power I allow to have them over my mind. Ideally. It doesn't work all the time. I'm talking percentages here, you know? Imagine if you could take your brain that is misfiring. I think the purpose of doing this very thing in my kitchen, playing my songs, the purpose is to meet individuals that the universe just funnels in digitally and our paths cross. And that crossing of paths means that they're intertwining, even though we're thousands of miles apart. Completely different lives. You know nothing about me virtually. I don't know anything about you. But the fact that I'm just sitting here doing it means that if I'm playing alone and nobody or no recording instrument, no technology or cameras, that feels so weird to me. If I'm recording with a camera on, it feels just right. If I'm playing live, it can feel a bit overwhelming because you realize that if your mind is wandering, you have all these eyes on you, suddenly triggering all these misdirecting thoughts, you know? So when you're playing live for people, I think it feels the same as this, But I also was standing with the guitar, which I don't do as much. I play on my knee, and I'm very fashionable today. I'm so fat. My crappy t-shirt, my god-awful sneakers. It's hot up here in Vermont at the moment. So you can probably hear the fans in the background. I'm trying to channel some cooler air into my kitchen. I don't think my kids like the hot air very much. So it means I have to work harder. 1,000 people versus 5 people. Yeah, isn't it crazy? So I get to state on the record the mission for doing this is that my kids want to stay with their mom because she has central AC and they probably love her more. But let's just forget about that. When I have the opportunity, I sit down in my kitchen because ultimately I want music to be my career. I want music to be a very comfortable revenue stream for me. But I have such a difficult time with the perception of my own value or worth. It's messed up, and it's my insecurity, probably one of at least the top 50 insecurities. So if I was doing better, I would have a house with better air conditioning. I'd have more room for them. I'd take them on more trips. I'd get them more stuff. I would do more stuff with them. You know? So I'm blaming myself for it not being the best parenthood that I could possibly make. And that's a ton of pressure to put on myself, and I'm absolutely aware that it's a ridiculous way to think. But I also think of it as a necessary thing to admit in order to say, this is why I do this so much. I think you're right. I think there's a certain, I will say, a metaphor that maybe is overused, but if you're on an airplane and in the event of a crash, on the way down, the oxygen masks come down because you're in high atmosphere and there's no air, barely any air. Your instruction is to put on your own mask, then put on someone else's. That's true. Well, in fairness, their mama is awesome. So I have a lot of work to do. I readily admit that. So, one quick note about last night is if I had a real piano, most of the songs that I have written on the album, the whole idea is that a thunderous piano starts like a dun 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 dun, you know, and I couldn't really get that thunderous thing going. So I think the contest is good for me because I get to analyze what I did and what I didn't do. So next time, because there will be lots of extra times, I will just try to relax a little bit more, have a good time, and state for the record that I want to do this in front of thousands of people. At some point. And I need help to do it. I've been doing it for months now. I've been doing it for years, essentially. And the more the years go on that I am not anywhere in my career, the more I wonder, am I just going to be a victim of my self-doubt in the end? Could I be the kind of artist that dies midway through his life and leaves behind some music that people like? Is that my path? And if I'm imagining my future, sometimes that's the future that I imagine. And it makes me both very happy and satisfied and very sad and like kind of desperate at the same time. So I feel multiple things at once, just like a lot of the times when I'm playing music. And I don't want the money for anything flashy. I want the money to just live comfortably and so I can breathe. I want a wonderful home base and I want a wonderful traveling suitcase. and I would have a handler that just like guided me around because I would get lost. I want to travel the country and the world playing pianos. And I want to tell stories from my life, and I also just want to play songs. Sometimes I want to talk, sometimes I want to play, sometimes I want to do both. I drive myself insane thinking about this stuff. I know I'll wait here for you. I'll wait all night long. Wait for you to come back home. And there is no reason to be afraid. I will never regret. I will never look back. I know I'm glad I stayed. I don't know your name. I'll miss you just the same. I know I need to see the preacher man. I know I made mistakes. I know you will never see me again. All I know is I was never fake. There is no way to see the future. You wanna know which way to go. Hello out there. Thank you, guys. I figure I'll take a moment to talk a little bit, even though I try to make my songs like a spoken word, sort of like freestyle, but with melody and poetry. No, it's all poetry, but with melody. Freestyle with melody. And sometimes I like to switch around the capo where it is on the guitar. So here I am. I do have the fire in me. I definitely do. You don't know how close I was to arguing with the judge. There wasn't a microphone in front of me, and I realized no one could hear me. So I started to say something like, "Do you even know how to tune a guitar?" But it would be in good fun because I feel like defending music, you're allowed to be a little bit snarky. You're allowed to be a little bit sarcastic, and you're allowed to be a little bit grandiose. I like trying to be grandiose, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, what song should I play next? Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I want to go on with the show. What song should I play? I never know what I'll do today. This one is called Stars Pull You Upwards. Pull your shattered self together. They'll never see you lost again. Rise above the weather. Count backwards from 10. You're running away, but you're on an island. You don't even know who I am. Don't give it away, you're only yesterday. Now you're face down in the sand. If you could be king, you could be king. You could be God, you could be everything. You could bring them all back to life. But some bells you can't unring. I know I'll see you soon. Right back at you, Freda. Stars will pull you upwards. Lay your battered body down. What more could you offer? You're building your secret cities deep underground. I know I'm not an island. Does anybody know who I am? I gave them away all my yesterdays. Now I'm face down in the sand. Oh. Stars will pull you upwards. Lay your battered body down. What more could you offer? I built in my secret cities deep underground. I know I'll never see the sun again. I'll be drowning in darkness, but it's okay, I know how to swim, and the stars never align. Stars will pull you upwards. Lay your battered body down. What more could you offer? I feel you here and all around. Stars will you upwards. Lay your battered body down. What more could you offer? I feel you here and all around. Sometimes I like to have a little twang in my voice. Sometimes I screw it up, but that's okay. I can call myself out in real time. I ain't spending a dime, but you really crossed the line. Yes, I'm feeling fine. I can't make this last forever. And I can't make it last forever. Stars will pull you upwards. Lay your battered body down. What more could you offer? I feel you here and all around. What you see right here is a man in his kitchen, but he's got a master plan. It's all written out in excruciating detail. It took me almost 4 years to compile. You see, I know what I was put on this earth to do. It was to connect with you and tell you I feel your pain. If we say to each other, we can get out of the rain. I'm sorry to say, the answer is sometimes never. I'm sorry to say, sometimes the answer is always never. Freda, you're a genius, you are absolutely right. 92% is worth never giving up the fight, because that 8% can become 7%. And I think it's good to think of yourself as saying to other people, I'm feeling 92% today. And people say, hey, that's pretty good. The people will also wonder what's in that 8%. And imagine if you answered the question, hey Peter, how you feeling? And I said, I'm 8% unhappy. I think that would be very strange. And I think people would have to calculate that for a second. 8% unhappy, what the hell does that mean? Do I congratulate him, or do I say, well, what's going on? Are you stressed out? That's a low happiness meter. So I think it's better to say, I'm 92% awesome. You know what I mean? We're the 92 club, right? 92 PWB, 92 something like that. 92 PW, something like that. See, I think this is how you start a revolution. Not a bad one, not a destructive one, not one that involves weapons. A revolution that involves feeling good. Imagine that. I know. What does feeling good get you? Well, it should get you the opportunity to think more clearly. And if you think more clearly, maybe you will understand yourself and your life a little bit better. And maybe you can start to breathe differently, walk differently, start to think of all the stuff that you had building up in your head can suddenly be just stuffed away or set on fire. One of the two. You decide. Mentally, this is all metaphorical stuff. It feels. I feel like I have had a personal revolution, but it's not the kind that's like starts with a match and suddenly there's this huge fire. For me, it has felt like just keep doing it over and over again. I love doing it. It's so much fun. I look forward to it, but I also have guilt about other aspects of my life that I sort of hold at bay. And I understand that it's entirely wasteful and it makes me sort of a hypocrite. That's the 8%. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that, like, I don't want it to be there. The insecurities, the hatred, the anger, the grudges, the worry, all of that stuff is squeezed. And that 8% can feel like 1,000% sometimes, you know? And that's okay. It's supposed to sort of expand and contract. It has to, right? I mean, nobody is one frequency all the time, right? Sometimes my frequency is high and I'm feeling great. Sometimes my frequency is low and I feel like garbage. Sometimes it's right in the middle where I feel content and functioning, but wanting to be happy and afraid of being sad. It's a weird spot to be. So I figure if I sit down and play and I do as much playing as I possibly can, I feel like, yeah, I think it's okay to admit it. I also think it's good to give a number to things, like on a scale of 1 to 100. I think if by measuring anything in your mind on a scale of 1 to 100, it's good to give it like a simplified value. So if you could tell a stranger specifically where your sadness has been, your anger has been, your fear, your happiness, your joy, your euphoria, your sadness. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to hold yourself accountable. And I have seen on the internet people doing it. I have seen people bare their souls, and I think people like that. And I would love to bare my soul because it feels like I'm sort of a mixture of things. I feel like I'm a performer, but I also am a philosopher, but I also just love improvisational stuff, but I also love dark. I also love funny. I also love sad. I also love happy. I love it all. I want to pour a bottle of happiness into a big jar, and a bottle of sadness into a big jar, a bottle of anger into a big jar, and a bottle of fear, a bottle of regret, a bottle of self-loathing, a bottle of self-doubt, and then take that jar and just shake it up. That's what I want my mind to be. It's not like they're opposing forces battling for space in my mind, but that they are all intertwined, making my decisions for me based on what I am feeling, which is emotions. But emotions aren't the kind of thing you choose to feel when you want to feel them. And that's what's always probably perplexed me about the human experience, is that anybody can be holding on to emotions and masking it at any time. It's hard to read some people. You can't tell if they're sad or happy. You can't tell if they're worried about something. Sometimes you can tell by their temperament very quickly. Other times you cannot. So, I think of this invisible energy that I create with music, this need to play it, this need to experience it, as a way of like self therapizing. um, I do, yes, you do like. I think love your emotions first of all. If there's any one emotion that might have the most transformative power, it's got to be love. And it doesn't have to be 100% love all the time. It can't always be that from morning, day, night. You can't be that. You're supposed to sort of fluctuate. And a lot of people do. In fact, probably most people fluctuate. It's just that I find that I've tried to keep my brain in check for so long that I wonder how I would fare out there in the wild. Because I've spent so much time in isolation working on the album and playing music and just traveling to a gig, playing the gig, getting back in my car, traveling home. You know, I'm around people, but I love that I have the solitude, but I also know it reminds me there's a fine line between being alone and being lonely. Two different things. They overlap, but on either side there can be one or the other. And I fluctuate for some reason, back and forth. I know I need to do this right now in the isolation of my hot ass kitchen. I know that I'm in an apartment right now, but I need to be in a house, god damn it. I need to have the mortgage paid. I need to have a working car that I'm not worried about. These are all just basics, fundamentals that a lot of people have, a lot of people don't. A lot of people have in between. But just for me, I need an ease of life so I can breathe, so I can do this more. Duh. I bet tens of millions of people have said that exact same thing. But I just need to feel like I'm putting it on the record. I need to feel like it has some kind of resonating power. Just like previous live streams, I think that I enter a certain realm of that I consider to be the space between dimensions, which I love visualizing when I'm sort of trying to calm my brain down. That I'm just in like this limbo space. There's not even a word to really describe it. It's where you're floating and you're completely blank-minded, fully aware of what's going on, but you're not creating or not reliving memories in real time. And if you get to experience just floating in a very warm, thought-free space, you start to realize, you're paying closer attention to the sound around you. Yes, I've often wondered if I should drop my last name. Twilight Zone of Peter Wayne. Third person mentality for sure. I like that perspective for sure. But I also like thinking about what you feel internally. No other perspectives, only you feel about yourself. In between dimensions, for however long feels right. The goal is that you could clear your mind so it could function better by imagining you can just exist between the dimensions all the time, and the laws of the world are more defined by you and less by others, or at least your perceived opinions of you and themselves. In other words, people make the world complicated, and I like things simple, and I can't get more simple than this. Last night at the Battle of the Bands, which I lost, unfortunately, the other 3 bands, they were great. 2 of them went on to the next round. I was sad that I lost, but at the same time, it was a great experience. I loved it. But it reminded me, you give me a piano, an audience, a good sound system, some lighting, I will melt people's fucking faces off. Yeah, I think ultimately where my selfish feelings come into play is that I love the experience of playing music so much that a lot of the times when I'm playing, I'm not thinking anything. Sometimes I have visuals in my head that I'll never remember again, and I'll never describe. So it feels like creating a movie only I get to see, and it's a fucking blockbuster. I apologize for the bad language, but at the same time, I do curse on occasion. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I would say that, have you heard of Noah Kahn from right here in Vermont? I have truly fallen in love with his music. I do like the person. Dun da da dum. You love the person. Yes. True. It's a weird thing because I see people from the outside as the artists they are. If I see somebody that I saw performing or something, and they take on otherworldly characteristics to me. They really do change the air around them, in my opinion. I have experienced it with some pretty famous people just scattered throughout a few decades. Thank you so much, Freda. It means a lot to know that you believe in me because it reinforces just my whole mission, my whole goal for all of this. I may not have a nice apartment. My car may need new brakes and new tires. I may have some credit card debt. Don't tell anybody. But I want to do this live every night. And I want to do it for money. And I want to have a piano next to me. And I want to do it in a way that blows people's minds. And I booked a live stream on June 28th. No, I know you mean. Okay. Yes. No, I like my place. It sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm not. I mean, I am complaining. I'm just saying that what I want, this apartment can't offer me. It's got everything that I need in my perfect location. I love this apartment, okay? You're right. But I need to remind myself that in order to do what I need to do, I haven't even done my best work yet. And my best work will involve some really high quality sound and video and editing. Yeah, I mean, I think I can hate my apartment and love my apartment at the same time. And I might attribute that type of gradient between love and hate to a lot of things in my mind. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with myself. It's on a gradient. Sometimes it's right in the middle, sometimes it's love, sometimes it's self-loathing. It goes back and forth. But when I talk negatively about this apartment, it is mainly to reinforce that I just want to keep going and I want to get better and keep practicing. And I want to do this professionally one day, and I want to meet my idols, and I want to make beautiful music with them. And I want to go on a beautiful tour and stay in amazing Airbnbs. I would love to play in a city 4 or 5 places for a week, move to the next city. These are all my hopes and my dreams. And I have been keeping a journal, as I have mentioned, about every single day for the past nearly 4 years. Nearly every single day. Some days, multiple entries. Some days, 5 or 6 or 7 entries. And many of these entries are 75 to 100 paragraphs long. Because all I do is talk to myself in my car using voice-to-text translation. So I'm driving and I'm just talking to myself. And I put the phone down a lot of the time. And in my journal, it describes exactly what I hope to do. And this is exactly what I hope to do. Come to 5280 State someday when you get famous. What is 5280 State? And yes, by the way, yes, I will come there. I promise you. And you will get VIP passes. All transportation and food is taken care of to and from the venue. You will be picked up in a beautiful car, not one that screams, "Look at me," but one that screams, "Welcome, you won't want to leave." The car will be very comfortable. There will be complimentary snacks. When you get to the venue, you will pull up directly to the backstage area. And you get to walk right into the catering tent and just mingle your way around. You can go anywhere. Security, when they see your pass, they wave you right by every single time. And then you can come hang out, and I'll have a little, like, barbecue area. Plenty of shade and seating, fans. Meet the PW, yeah. And when you come back, it's just me. It's not a bunch of people. It's not assistants coming in and out. It's not friends saying hi, family saying hi. And my phone will be nowhere to be found. And you can have your phone out as much as you want. For the first 10 minutes. And then I just request putting the phone away so we can just hang out and not have distractions. I find a lot of conversations these days get destroyed by the phone, and I understand that some people talk without phones. Great. Some people talk while one person is on a phone. Nah. Some people talk while they're both on phones. I like the idea of just hanging out, no distractions, no texts. 5280 is miles above sea level. Yeah, I do too. So when you come back, you've got food. There's really clean, well-placed restrooms. And that area is yours all night long. You can put your stuff there. Nobody will touch it. Food will be ready at all times if you want to come back and chill. After the show, we'll hang out back there and maybe bring a couple more friends. And then we hang out for however long, chatting, eating, doing whatever we wish. And then you get back in that super comfortable car and it takes you back home and you feel extremely safe, extremely relaxed. There is no tension, there's no fighting, there's no money, there's no worry about anything for that night. When I come through 5280, you have the best time of your life and a ton of pictures and videos if you want them. And I love that idea because at some point I'm going to come back through the 5280 and I want to do something different the next time. Or I'll do the exact same thing so you know what to expect. So when it comes time, the next year when I come back through, what to expect. And you look forward to it so much because I really want it to be just an amazingly, euphorically easy experience. Because the way that I operate with people is really, I want to just have cut through all the garbage that we keep up around us. And let's just sit and talk and be like, isn't life absurd? What are we doing? What is going on? And then to learn about you. I love learning about people, I gotta say. Sometimes my attention span sucks. Bleeder! Hello, bro. Bro, your boat. I hope you're having a good night. Thank you for tuning in. I am sitting here in my hot kitchen because I don't want to put the air conditioner on because it's so loud. I love my apartment. I love my life, but I want other things, and I want to have a professional setup musically. Fantastic. Bleeder. You too. Yeah, learning about people. Am I learning about people as I'm sitting in my kitchen doing this? Yes, I am. I try to imagine as if you're right in front of me, seriously. Because music feels so much. It's like if you're sticking to a song structure, 3.5 minutes, and you're playing to somebody, you're wondering what they're thinking, and you're wondering if they think it's boring, if they like it, if they're like, "Oh, this song sucks. I wish it would play the next song." I think all of that crap, but then I let it, and then I'll just remember it's good to just let go and just let your mind be peaceful, you know. And I'm probably going to wrap it up in a little bit. I'm going to try to stream tomorrow night from the restaurant. I like understanding people. I think understanding people is a way to understand yourself. Because I think, and I am not perfect in this category, but what I do think is very important is honestly learning how to ask a question in a conversation and be prepared to just stay silent, giving the other person a ton of space to talk. What a weird concept, I know. I think that I suck at it sometimes, but there have been times where I felt perfectly vibrational and just like I'm very curious what would happen if I asked this person a question. And the only thing that I did was ask very simple follow up questions. And how wonderful it is for people to get to put into words something that they may never have spoken out loud for weeks, months, years. Finally, they get to say it out loud to somebody. It washes right over me no matter what it is. As far as lightening the load on your mind. Because I think we can all be that for people. I think we can all allow each other to let the dams break. Because we all know what happens when the dam gets overloaded. It's under stress and it's shaking. So I guess that tonight's theme is liquid. And using liquid as a metaphor for a lot of different things. And in this case, I think I have allowed so much pressure to build up behind the dam that I just want it to break, but in the most graceful way possible. I agree. I'm going to try this one. It's called The Treasure. I think I should do it in a lower key. I always, I have a jumbled car wreck of lyrics in my mind sometimes. I jumble them up in my head all the time. It's crazy. Um, what song did I just say? I focused, my fingers start hurting if I play too long. That's why I want to have a piano nearby. Yeah, the car wreck. Now, when I was recording the album, the metaphor was a little bit different. The metaphor, when I was recording the album, I was overdoing it on the Adderall and getting super hyper focused on making music every day. That I knew the longer that I went addicted to this, the more regular life would seem more painful. So, in my head, yes, the treasure. Okay, I'm going to play that. In my head, I was standing on a train platform, and in front of me was a train tracks. And I couldn't see, it was like forest on this side, forest on this side. And it wasn't just one train track, it was 2, 4, 10, 12, almost like 50 train tracks. Yes, Adderall is, I think, yes, I hate it too, but I'm just admitting my 8% flawedness, which is arguably a lot bigger number, but I'm just going to lie to myself and say that. That I imagined almost every night a fleet of trains coming in slow motion on the train tracks, smashing into each other in slow motion and just crumbling. And in my mind, each train was a song. Because when I was recording, I would open up a session and start an idea and start writing a song. Because I learned digital recording to do it in a pretty amateur way, but I could multi-track. So I could put down the drums and the piano and the vocals, and I could build a song. And once I realized that I could do it, I couldn't stop myself. And I became so obsessed with it that it was painful. So I think sometimes my music reminds me of some crazy times. And so, yeah, the train wreck thing became, because I never finished the songs, that's where I was going, is that I kept writing. Sometimes it would be like 20 songs in 1 week that I start working on. And one of the, like at least 5 of them, I'm super excited about. I love how they sound. They came out better than I thought. And sometimes they came out of absolute nowhere, where I had absolutely no idea I was going to do it. I sat down, I just want to do something cool. Bang, 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 bang on the piano. I cut it, loop it so that part repeats. Then I put a bass on it. Then I put a little drums. Then I put a little shaker. And I realized I love that song. But then I realized, oh, it's so much work to edit the song. And then I think, I want to start a new one. So I would just sometimes start 3 songs in a morning and just be like, screw it. Spend 10 minutes on this song, come back to it tomorrow. I'd take the headphones off and be like, all right, I'm unplugging from recording. And I was shitty at functioning outside of recording. I tried to act like everything's cool and I'm mellow. But really, my brain is obsessed with the songs, and I have to wait a whole 10 hours, 12 hours to get back to them. So I think that's where the train metaphor started to wreck me, because it became the thing that was like in my head over and over again throughout all the days while I was going to work and cleaning and hanging out with the kids. And I think I agree, because now the visual metaphor is a car wreck, a bunch of cars coming in on a bunch of roads. But it's more manageable. It's not like 50 massive steamrollers or steam engines hitting each other. It's smaller vehicles, and I get to tell myself that the cars are sort of like matchbox size, so it's not like a whole bunch of destruction. Because the more I play my music, the more the songs take on a life of their own in my mind, and I sort of look forward to finding out where my mind goes while I play that song. And thank you so much for watching tonight. My fingers are killing me. I know. That's why I need a piano around. We can make it happen. Imagine if I booked a live stream the 28th of June, which is a Sunday, from 4 to 6 p.m. on the YouTube. And I am going to a really nice studio that has a wonderful piano. I'm going to have good microphones and good lighting, good stream quality. And cool Miro now. Let me put my guitar down. Oh, yeah. I know I'm such a fashion icon. Look at these amazing sneakers. Oh. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Come here, Peter Wayne Burton, rock his brains out on a piano that he loves. Come check it out. Micro. Cool micro now. Yes, exactly. The cars are small. They just, and I'm like, oh, isn't that cute? I don't let them get in my way. I don't imagine it being my thoughts, my mind being that crash. I mean, not all the time. It's not like it's always the same visual metaphor. I think sometimes I remember the trains and I sort of get a cold shudder because I remember the trains colliding in my head every day. For this went on for like a year and a half, and this is cool. Yeah, get smaller with the cars, get smaller with the trains. Think of them as toy trains. Woo-woo. It's not that big a deal. It's okay. In fact, I like the idea of talking about my past as if it is a reverse Olympics where I look back and I give myself a gold medal when I thought I came in last place. That is not all gold medals, but to say you were trying to function while doing something with the best intentions. Meaning that while my brain was sort of melting down with like the obsession of the album and how much desire I had to have people hear this in a large context and like a cool venue, yes, you can forgive yourself not by necessarily even saying, I forgive myself, but by simply looking at your past in a different way, just a slightly different perspective. That whatever you went through, if something happened to you or you did something, understand the difference between the two. And then also visualize not just visualize the trains that have collided and now they are uncolliding in slow motion and they return to the regular form and they're on the tracks and they're disappearing again into the darkness. Make room for new space, make room for new experiences, make room for growth, make room for acceptance, make room for atonement, make room for forgiveness, make room for it all, including compulsion, impulsion, when you have good intentions, in your heart. And I made like a curry chicken rice dish. Wow, I'm a cook, I'm a chef. I didn't just throw coconut milk on chicken and add some paste. No, it was way more involved than that. I'm just kidding. But yes, I guess I talk about similar themes a lot. I say the same things over and over again, I think. And my journal that I've talked about is very much evidence of that fact. So I'm gonna go put an entry in my journal, feeling like I'm also doing a version of a journal entry via a live stream. That I very much appreciate your time, your thoughts, your amazing words, your insight, your wisdom, your positivity, and your genuine insight into, I think, a creative brain struggling with itself, because you most likely have a brain that struggles with itself. And I find that struggle to be fascinating. I find it to be illuminating. I find it to be worthy of attention. And that's all I just say about how people's brains work, is that you give people the right context and the right environment. You can find out things about people if your mind is open and your heart is open. And I have found out enough about you to know that you're a pretty incredible human being. And I love your demons. That's what I want to tell people all the time. I love your demons. And I hope you love them too. Because if your demons are loved, you're sort of taking away their power in a little way. They're unavoidable. We all have them. And just by your words alone, I can tell that you have a pretty deep understanding of what it means to be human and what existence is, what's important and what should be ignored. You want to encourage others as you want others to encourage you. So we can encourage each other just to stay awesome, to be who we are, to learn to grow, to learn to stumble and fumble, but learn to know that we have enough forward inertial energy spiritually that we can conquer pretty much anything. All right. So let's do that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I love seeing you on the live stream. I'm going to try to live stream from the piano at the restaurant tomorrow night. I'm going to try to live stream from the waterfront on Saturday afternoon, roughly 6:30 to 8:30 my time, 6:30 to 8:30 tomorrow night, if I can get the darn thing to work, because I'm terrible technologically. And then I'll try to do a live stream on Sunday afternoon. And I know I love it so much. And it involves sacrifice, but that's okay. I think it's for a higher purpose. I think it's for a reason. I think I'm on a mission. And I feel like I'm only just getting started. All right? Thank you so much. Have a great night. You rock. Have excellent sleep tonight. Wake up thinking good things. All right? Thank you for being you. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you real soon, okay? You rock!